Andrea Stramaccioni here in our studio at Letné Stadium. Coach, just to start with, the first part of the season unfortunately cannot be considered as success. So what's your overall evaluation of what we saw in the first couple of months of the season?
For sure, I am not satisfied. We are not satisfied, and we are not definitely not happy for what we did about the results in the first part of the season, and nobody wants to hide this. The Europa League elimination, combined with coming of a lot of new players together, and of course a new coach, influenced a lot the bad start, because also I guess that nobody expect to stay out from preliminary, and so the roster was enlarged to face it up the three competitions. And when we remained also with a number of players, a big number of players, could represent it. It represented a problem.
Was there anything during the first part of the season that you wish you did differently? Some say coaching decision or technical decision?
Well, I can say honestly that of course I knew that was a big challenge. Came in Sparta and in Czech Republic like the only one foreign coach for this league, and honestly I made mistakes, and but my opinion is that making mistakes, you can understand a lot of points of this league, and we get good learning from this. Of course, I cannot say this like an excuse, and it was not an excuse, but is really not easy if you came from abroad to understand quickly this reality, this mentality, this league, and also with the difficulties that new team with a lot of new chemistry to build up, and that for sure was a factor.
You often talk about a project that the first team currently is. So how's this project going? We had the chance to talk with Mr. Křetínský about the whole idea of making the dressing room and the overall squad more international. So how's this process going? How are you happy with the project?
Of course, we cannot be happy for the run for the title, because the Victoria is far away, and it is not realistic to talk about title. But our target have to be to reach the second position and to be in Europe for the Champions League preliminary. With the owner, we have a very open and direct relation since the start. We share a lot of points, and also we sit down after the last game against Mlada, and I gave him my analysis about my report about this first part of the season, what was wrong, what we made wrong, what we made good, and what most of all, what was my idea for the project, my idea for the plan. And I was happy to see that Mr. Křetínský agreed, I guess about 99%. I don't want to say 100. You have to say 100, but I guess we agreed in the main part. The project now is represented by this new block of players. We believe on them, that are 5, 6, 7 player Czech, that are young, but not so young, that can carry on this jersey that is very important to wear. And when you wear the Sparta jersey, you need not only to be a good player, you have to be a man with the right spirit, with the right mentality. And so this project now is to restart from this player, that they if we, unfortunately, without thinking about Olomouc, that was unlucky game and we lost, we were in a good track of results, and so we have to restart with these players and reducing the roster, because even if the season will be not successful as everyone expected, me first, we have to build something, because it will be a very big mistake to be not successful and to change direction 2-3 times, because okay, maybe 2017-18 will be not remembered like a very good season, but maybe could be remembered like the season where you build up the new Sparta, because this is not easy. Restart a cycle in one club is very difficult. Now, is a few days ago, Tomasz Rosicky retired, and this team have a lot of players that made the history of this club, like David Bicik, David Lafata, Costa, or I can say Mikael Kadlec. Okay, we love these players, but we have to create a new generation of Sparta players, and was the same in Inter Milan, was the same in a lot of clubs. Is the key moment, is very difficult, but we have to be strong and believe in what we are doing. And so was good that we agreed in all the points with Mr. Kretinsky, because also for me was very important to understand if the owner have my view, and of course if I am the right person to continue with this view. So this view matches, and this was good for both to go on.
You've mentioned that there was a lot of new signings in summer. So according to you, what was their contribution to the team in the first part of the season?
If I go back, honestly, maybe I will not suggest to bring in so many foreign players together. I cannot expect from outside, but because maybe in Italy, but also in Greece, the league is more, how can I say, ready to accept immediately. Here was problem, not only but also for their adaptation. And I'm sure that all the players we took are good players. I'm sure, and I confirm this, but not for anyone was easy the approach with the Czech football and this league. And so I admit this is one maybe of mistakes that I admitted, that maybe was not good idea to bring so many foreign players together. And so I can say that this was also a reason why it didn't work.
Is there a chance that any of these players who arrived in the summer is leaving this winter, especially considering the fact that we will not play so many matches?
Yes, this will be a point, and we will start for 3 of January with a really reduced roster. So I expect 20 players. Is my intention to bring up some young from academy. I don't want to say to let him play, but to start to aggregate, because I see under 19 and academy of Sparta, they are doing a very good job. So maybe they are not ready to play in first team, of course, but they can be with us, learning and make trainings. And for sure, someone of the players you mentioned, we are considering to with the club to think about his future in Sparta also, because without cups, only 14 games could be different target from what we expected in summer.
So can we expect more players actually leaving than signing with the club in the summer, in the winter?
Yes, this is for sure is the plan. Of course, I don't want to say something before this happens, because I know market is sometimes complicated, but for sure my team will be 18, 20, 21. And the club will decide who. I mentioned to the owner the block of 15 players where I work on 15, 16, and of course About the others around, for me, I follow the club. For me, it's important to go with this block that we recognize together and to work on them. And for the other decision, of course, the club. I will follow the club.
We had the chance to talk to Mr. Křetínský about his plans for the winter, and he told us that one of the players we are actually targeting is the number 10 midfielder. Do you consider this as the position that is required the most for your team?
For sure, we need one player in this position to replace Tomáš Rosický. And when I say replace Tomáš Rosický, I will not say replace for his value, because this is impossible. But replace like characteristic. You know that number 10 position was one of the technical issue of the first part of the season, and maybe we never find one player that could interpret stably in stable way this position. I don't think we will look for other profiles.
You said that it will be hard to replace Rosa, but he actually stays with the club. He's joining the sports department. So how are you looking forward to cooperation with him on a little bit different level?
First of all, you have to be happy, because it's not easy when one player finish to have one club that is ready to take his value also outside the pitch. But Tomáš deserved this, because Tomáš is, I know him these 5 months. He's not only a top player, but he's also a very, very, very clever person, and he have a lot of value. I wish him a very long and successful career as no player as he was as a player, and I'm happy, and I ask also to have him close to the team, and I can say between the pitch and the board.
Back to you. I was wondering if your perception of the Czech league, of the Czech football, Czech players you are meeting in different teams, has your perception changed during your time with Sparta? Is it something different than what you were expecting?
But for sure, it's a league that if you don't know deeper, you can have problems, because it's a different way to interpret the games. In Italy, maybe you have more quality, individual quality, and for sure there is a little bit tactical way to approach the game, but here the intensity is very high. The aggressiveness of every player in every single meter of the pitch is very high, so you have to be ready. For example, one of the good sides that we did in this first part, and that is my philosophy, we try to lead every game. We try to have the control and the possession of the game, and we are, as Sparta, we are first in all the statistics of leading the game, possession. But if you are not ready against such disaggression, you can have problems in every game. Brno was maybe the worst walk-up that we can have in this way. Even if you are better, even if you want to control the game, but if you are not ready to do this fast and with the right approach, you can have problem also with the last team in the standing. One example for Italy was when I was coach of Inter. I remember that Napoli met Victoria, and in Italy was like lucky draw, and Napoli was beaten by Victoria, and because they didn't expect this way to play, and was Napoli of Cavani, of Lavezzi, of Hamšík. So maybe no, you cannot compare, but this is an example, and now for sure we understand deeply this league.
There were some protests, at the stands. The fans, obviously aren't happy with the results and with the play. How difficult does it make your job for you? I mean, it certainly has to be a complication. So what kind of complication is it?
But first of all, is one side of our job, of my job, and also of player jobs. We fully understand fans that are unsatisfied, and I can guarantee fans that I'm first unsatisfied, and we are working hard to try to improve and to go out from this situation. And what I can say, of course, is that first of all, I want to say thank you, because this is a good moment to say thank you to our fans that in home games they supported us for 90 minutes, and that also in bad situation, and that was for team was very good. And for fans that are very disappointed, I can say to remember that we hope that they continue to support the shirt, the club, the team, not only these players or this coach, because they are fan of Sparta Prague, and Sparta Prague is, I can say, their life, and this club, this logo needs their support, needs their fans, because we are an international team. So even if we are not going like they expected every Sunday, we hope to have their support to do 110%. And of course we are ready to receive criticism, to receive protest, but Sparta needs the follow of their support.
You already said that second spot in the league table is the ultimate goal for the second part of the season. But what happens if this goal isn't reached? Is this something you were discussing with Mr. Křetínský? Is there anything you agreed on concerning this?
No, of course, this is the main target. First of all, is to be like Sparta deserves, like to be able to win every game, because this is the first target, to be Sparta as every fan as in his mind, because in this first part we lost 4 games, and this is definitely too much. And of course our target is to back stable in Europe, and the second place is the access for Champions League preliminary, and is important for us. But we have this goal, but the main goal in my mind is to win, to be able to win every game. That was not a condition in the first part. And so, as I told you before, this season, in any way we're gonna finish, will be not remembered, but we have to build something for Sparta, and I will put all my energies to do this.